Hey guys, how are we today? I hope you're all having a lovely day. For today's video, I thought I would have a quick chat with you about products that I won't buy again, or products that I know that I don't use, hence why I won't buy them again. So I've written down a bit of a list. The start of the list, or at the top of the list, are some items that, you know, I absolutely know that I will not use. I absolutely know that I won't buy them again because I've been, you know, in this position before. Towards the end of the list are more items that I'm going to keep this in mind for next time and just be very, very wary of what happens. So the first one was actually one that I was kind of just looking on my desk and noticed, and it is makeup brush sets where I know I won't use any of the brushes. Well, not any of them, but I know I'm not going to use most of them, and I'm really only buying the set for a couple of them. Now, this set that I did buy, I'm pretty sure I got on eBay, and I was quite shocked that I didn't like them, mainly because they are all so soft and bendable. Like, you can see that there's absolutely no, you know, stiffness in them at all, and yet all of these ones are ultra firm. And I was really hoping that, you know, these were going to be the soft ones and that these were going to be the firmer ones, so that, you know, I could create some really nice looks out of them. Honestly, out of this entire collection, how many have we got? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 brushes. I think I used 2 out of all of these. So I'm definitely, there were probably only about 4 brushes in this set that I really wanted anyway, but still very, very disappointing. And I know, you know, I'm not going to buy any brush sets like that again. If I do find brush sets that I like in store and I like all of the brushes, or at least 90% of them, I might think about it. But, you know, if I'm buying a brush set just for 1 or 2 brushes, not happening. The second item on my list is actually any products labeled as dewy, or to give a dewy finish, or luminous, or radiant. I'm an oily person. I have to touch up usually about an hour after I do my makeup. I'm that oily. Majority of the time I either stick with matte products, and that's usually if I know I'm only going to be wearing them for a couple of hours, because even after that time the oil breaks through and starts to break the product down. Most of the time I do stick with lightweight finishes and, you know, powder foundations, that kind of thing, because I know that with dewy products it's just going to slide right off my skin. It's going to make me look really greasy. You can probably see I've got a little bit of shine here in the middle of my face as it is, and it's really light here. I did my makeup about an hour ago, so I haven't even touched up yet before doing this video. But I absolutely know that those products just won't work on me. They don't make me look luminous and dewy and hydrated or anything like that. They just make me look oily and sweaty, which I don't like. No one does. The next one, and I'm really disappointed with one of these purchases, and because I didn't know that it was going to be like this until after I got it. And that is cream and liquid highlighters. So I do have a liquid highlighter from Appeal Cosmetics, and I do have a Freedom palette from Makeup Revolution. This is their, what's it called? Pro Highlight palette. And I bought it because I thought, right, I'm sorry, the light's reflecting off the mirror here. I'm going to try and cover that. So I thought when I saw the photos, yep, this is going to be gorgeous. It's going to be amazing. There's some peaches, there's a pink, you know, there's some lighter ones as well. And this one's actually grey, which I have worn it, but it was to a Halloween themed birthday party. I don't think I'll ever wear it again. Absolutely loved it. Didn't realise until it arrived and I kind of looked at it, only these center ones are powder. The rest are cream highlighters. And given my skin and my texture and my oil level, I do have a lot of texture up here and in here in particular as well. I have quite large pores. The cream products pretty much just sit in there, and it's not even, I don't even know if I'd call it a cream formula. It's, well, it is, but it's more, not greasy, but I wouldn't say cream, more waxy. It's a very waxy formula and it just slides right off of my skin. I do still use the center powder ones, but you know, I have a couple of liquid highlighters as well that I've never purchased. I got them in a mystery box. I got this one in a Bella box, and I just don't use them because the same thing, it just exaggerates the texture. The one problem I do have with this one as well, aside from that, it's brand new and full and nothing is coming out of the dropper. It's pretty much just coming off around the edges of the dropper. It's full of glitter. So yes, I mean, that highlight is beautiful. Like absolutely perfect for when you just want that glossy wet look. But I don't think you'll be able to pick it up. It has chunks. Oh, there we go. We can see a couple of them. It has chunks of glitter in it. I'm not going to use glittery highlighters. I don't particularly like liquid highlighters either. I do still have them here in my drawer on the odd occasion that I do wish to use them because they haven't expired. It's a very, very odd occasion, but sometimes it is nice to change things up a little bit. But I would never go out of my way to purchase one of those again. And I would definitely be very careful and wary to read descriptions of things in, you know, the ingredients and the actual description box when buying things online again. The next one is a big one as well that is mainly location wise. Because I live in Australia, we don't get the entire shade ranges of foundations here. So there are a lot of foundation ranges where you see it on the videos and they're like, oh yeah, there's, you know, 18 or 24 foundations in this range. Some of the stores I go to, we get 6. If that. One of the foundation ranges that I've tried before, there were 4 colours in the store closest to me. Like, So this one that I know I'm not going to buy again is foundations in the wrong shade because it's the only one available. I have made the mistake before that, you know, I bought one, I'm like, oh, it's just, the other one is way too light, oh no, the other one's way too dark. I'll just wear this one and I'll put some bronzer on it and whatever. Or the ones that are light, oh, I can mix it with another one. No, I don't end up doing it. It's too much work, and that's where I have the issue with my Time Wise Luminous Wear foundation, aside from it also being luminous, is that because I bought this one online, they didn't have descriptions on there about the undertones either. So I'm like, oh yeah, that seems about right, you know, should be about right. Makes it very difficult to shade match when they don't have the descriptions about the undertones on there and what tones of skin it's for, you know, whether it's fair, light, medium, tan, deep, dark, whichever. So I'm going to be very wary and make sure that I always go in store and check out the shade ranges, test them against my skin, patch test a couple of them, go out, check them out in natural light, and then either go back in the store or buy it online, but make sure I get the right shade. Next one would have to be full coverage foundations. As I mentioned before, same as with the dewy skin products, full coverage foundations, they just tend to break down on me. They also tend to break me out. I have very oily skin, but I do also have very sensitive skin. Anything that is more full coverage usually has a lot more pigment in it, and fragrance too. So my skin is very sensitive to those, and when I get any kind of sensitivity, I tend to break out. I've mentioned this before in a video where I mentioned that I thought my body wash was breaking me out on my arms, because I tend to get breakouts on my arms, my chest, up on my shoulders, and it does tend to be when I wear a more fragranced either body lotion or use a fragrance shower gel. So full coverage foundations, because they are generally a lot thicker and they do tend to have more of that pigment, and the fragrance do tend to break me out a bit more. Next one would have to be liquid and pot eyeliners. I've had a few pot eyeliners before. They just never worked. I'm not sure whether it was just the formula, whether they were too waxy. I do have a Mary Kay liquid eyeliner. It's nice. I'm just gonna pop it there. The color's nice. It has the felt tip liner, which is really good. It's got a really pointed tip on it as well. I'm not a fan of the brush liquid eyeliners because the bristle ends tend to fray apart, but this one I really like. It used to bleed on me, but for some reason now it doesn't. Maybe it's just dried out a little bit, but I struggle so much to get this to work that there's just no point. I just prefer either my pencil liners or my retractable liners, just because they're easier to work with. I find that, you know, I'm a single mum. I don't have a lot of time. On the days where I do have, you know, time to sit down and do a full face of makeup, you know, if I have a day to myself occasionally, I'll sit there and I'll play with my blush and highlighter and eyeshadows. I don't want to be spending half an hour doing my frickin' eyeliner. I'd rather just stick this in the waterline, up tight line it, and do a little bit above my lashes. 2 minutes, I'm done. I know it's easy, it works for me. Those two type of products just do. The liquids are just too much, too fiddly for me. Oh, this is a big one. Eyeshadow palettes based on PR photos. The issue I have had with these, and the main palette that annoys me the most that this has happened, is the Revolution Velvet Rose palette. Now the PR shots of this showed this to be, you know, the most gorgeous neutral colored palette. I mean, yes, there are a lot of darker colors in there. Nice mix of, you know, warms and neutrals and cools and all sorts. When I get this, well, when I got this, I was so disappointed. I am a cool girl all the time. I struggle a lot. Like even if I wear, you know, reds and oranges, they're cool based reds and oranges. I struggle so much with warm toned colors. I don't know why, I just don't like them. And I was so disappointed when I got this one because it, oh my god, I'm sorry, that's terrible. Because it is just so warm. And when I looked at it, it's not even about that it's warm. The PR photos online were beautiful. And there were pretty much 4 colors in here that I really loved. So we've got these 3 here, which are more of the mauvey kind of colors. So we've got a matte, a shimmer, and then a darker kind of shimmery purple. Let me just swatch that here so you can see. It is just beautiful. Like, those are my kind of colors. And I just love it. Like, even if, you know, it is coming up brown there on the camera, I don't know why, but there are just so many warm shades in this. Like this one here, this one, well, even though that's more cool, but this one, these two, There's a black. Why do we need to put blacks in every eyeshadow palette? I don't understand. And then we've got 3 glittery shades. So granted, this one is a little bit more cool. These 2 are a bit warmer. But I honestly know that there's probably only 4 shadows out of this that I like. And it's this one up here and these 3 here. Like, I'm just so disappointed in that because it looks so different in person to what it did in the photos. I don't know if it's maybe the lighting or the models that they're using or whatever. But when I found, you know, I was looking for it on Instagram, I found a whole heap of photos that was showing it to be the same as what my palette looked. And I'm like, I don't know how everyone's palettes are turning out to look completely different to the photos that are on the website. So from now on, I will, and I have been with future purchases since then, been looking out for other people's Instagram shots and other people's videos showing it so I can see the true colours of them. Next one is something that I know people are probably going to have issues with, but it's just something that I don't personally use just because I don't feel the need to and I don't feel hype about it, is brow products. So I have the Revolution Focus and Fix eyebrow shaping kit and the W7 Bow to the Brow. I think this is a brow thickener. This was the first brow product I really started to use, and honestly, I only use it to fill in these tiny little parts here. But I don't need to do that all the time. So from back here, you probably can't tell that there's anything even needing to be done with my eyebrows. It's not until you get right up close that you see, you know, the gaps in between the hairs. So occasionally I will chuck in a bit of the brow wax just to give them a little bit of shape. But the colours and the colours in there aren't too bad. I honestly got it for, I don't even know why I got it. I think it was like one of those, you know, it was only reduced to like a couple of dollars. I'm like, oh yeah, I should do it. Let me start doing my eyebrows again all the time. I'm like, I don't need to. I don't need to. My brows aren't really that shaped anyway. They're, you know, I haven't over plucked them. They're naturally fairly thick, thank goodness. I understand a lot of people aren't that lucky or they prefer to use it even if they have thick eyebrows. I just prefer not to. And given that, you know, about products and techniques being hyped, my next items are generally hyped up products. So a couple of the ones that I've had the most issues with are the NARS Orgasm Blush and the MAC Ruby Woo lipstick. So with the NARS blush, it was fairly expensive to buy a full-size one. It actually worked out cheaper to buy the trio kit where you get the mini blush, the multiple stick and the lip gloss. The lip gloss I wasn't particularly a fan of to start with. I find it gets really sticky and tacky, and I'm going to try and pop some here where I haven't got anything else. It just, yeah, it, you know, didn't look good on. Like you can see there's already a line around their edge where it just went on really inconsistent. The only way I can get this to work is pretty much just popping it on top of a lipstick, which is okay, but I don't think I'll buy that again. Same as with the Orgasm Multiple stick. I'm actually not a big fan of cream blushes and highlighters or whatever, but you can see it there. For a blush, that is really, really pale, and you know, it's going to be a struggle. Oh, that's really chunky there on the skin too. Like, that's going to be a struggle to blend out because one, it didn't want to blend around the edges there, and two, there's not a lot of colour in that, which is the issue that I found with the mini blush, that you know, there just doesn't seem to be a lot of colour. I'm not sure if maybe I've done something wrong, but even when I put it on there, like, most of it just applied there at the start, and now there's barely any there where I just swiped it. I don't know if maybe I've got a dud, maybe it's got hard pan on it. I'm not sure, but I find that with that one I really, really have to make it work. I tried looking at everyone else's videos of it online, and it was raved about for so long that maybe it was just overhyped, and it's just not going to work for me. And that's an issue I'm having a lot lately with quite a few blushes. A lot of blushes just aren't working for me at the moment, and I'm having to change up and start using different things, and ones that, you know, didn't work for me a couple months ago, they're now working for me. The other product I mentioned was the MAC Ruby Woo. That the issue I have with this is that it's just, aside from this only being the mini, you can see the line around the middle there. That is literally the line from where I go to put it on, and it moves inside the tube. I'm also not a big fan of the colour. I know it's meant to be one of those universally flattering shades. Yeah, it's alright, but it just makes me look a bit, I don't want to say clownish, but there's another word that I don't really want to say on YouTube, and like, it just isn't a good match for me. And the other issue I'm also having is that the formula is just so damn dry. Like, I know it's meant to be a matte formula, but my lips hurt after I wear this, and I have to struggle to get it to go on. I don't know if that's just because it's a mini, and because it's a matte formula, it is so firm in there, but, you know, the fact that, oh, it's actually coming out of there as well. So maybe it's just because it's a mini, maybe because it's a you know, matte formula. Maybe it would be different if I had the full size, but I'm just not a fan of it. So I know that I won't be purchasing any of the MAC matte ones in the future unless I can go in store, maybe, you know, give this one a go on my skin in store compared to the full size one to see if it's the same. If they're the same consistency and texture, I will then try one of the other matte shades on my skin. If that's the same, then I definitely know I'm not going to want it, and because I just won't use it. That's the problem I have with this one, is I just rarely ever use it, which is why it is in my 20 in 2020 challenge, because I do want to try and use it up. It was fairly expensive. I think it was either like $18 or $20 or something for, you know, something that size. Considering it's a mini, that's quite a lot. So still keeping with the hyped up products theme is something that will probably cause a bit of controversy as well, but lashes. I know that, you know, lashes just are difficult to apply on myself. I can apply them to other people, no problem. I can have other people apply them to me, no problem at all. But the issue I have is that because my lashes are reasonably long and reasonably curly naturally, I find it extremely difficult to apply lashes. You can see I've removed one from here and tried to put it on, and it was just too difficult. It just wasn't working, so I've just put it back in here. I have to sit and fiddle and fuss with them, and it's just not, you know, a viable use of my time. Last time I put lashes on was for a video a couple of weeks ago, and I spent literally 15 minutes putting on a pair of lashes. I want to spend 15 minutes putting on lashes every time I try. I've got one of the little kits where it has, you know, the shaper, so you can trim them, and it, you know, you put it up against your eye and you see which line it goes to, and that lets you know how far to trim them to, and, you know, the proper tweezers and the proper glue and the proper scissors, and I've tried everything. I try the individual lashes and I do have a better job with them, but they're still too fiddly now. This isn't to say that I will never get, you know, a good routine with putting on lashes. I'll never find, you know, the perfect lashes for me. I'm just saying at the moment, I'm not into lashes. I'm not wearing all of the ones that I have. So I'm not going to go out and buy any more lashes and spend any more on them when I already have ones here that I don't use and that I know I struggle with. So that's it. The next one is something that I have a really bad habit of, and it's buying colours that I know don't work for me, or that I not necessarily don't work for me, but that I don't wear. The lipstick I'm wearing at the moment is actually one of them, and I very, very rarely wear this. It is the Flower Beauty Hibiscus lipstick, and it's because of the colour. Like, I love pink. I'm a Barbie girl from back when I was a kid. Give me pink anything, any days. And I think that's why I really liked this one. Like, it's absolutely beautiful. It is a matte formula. I'm just going to pop it there. It is a matte formula. I'm not a big fan of matte formulas, but chuck a gloss on this and it's fine. And it is a lot different to the matte formula of the MAC one as well, which does make it easier to wear. But it's pink. Like, this isn't the kind of look. Like the look I'm wearing today, you know, pink and orange eyeshadow and pink lipstick, isn't the kind of thing that I'd wear to work. You know, it's kind of one of those, I'm just going to sit down and play with makeup and see what happens. And, well, maybe if I have to go out later, that's fine. And, you know, a springtime kind of look, even though it's autumn at the moment. But it's just, I got rid of a whole heap of lipsticks last year, and I threw out 2 or 3 that were the same colour. Wouldn't have been last year. It would have probably been, I don't know, it might have been at the start of last year. So last year for my birthday in April, I went to Sydney with my daughter, and that's where I bought this lipstick. So that's why, even though I'm not 100% a fan of the colour, I'm not 100% fan of the formula, I'm not going to throw it out. I love it. It reminds me of that holiday so much. But when I thought about it afterwards, I got home and I'm like, oh crap, I just threw out 2 or 3 lipsticks that were so similar to this, it's not funny. A couple of the other ones were a bit darker, so they were more of a deep watermelon colour, like kind of in between a red and a pink. And I don't know why I thought I would wear this. Maybe I thought, oh yeah, most of what I have is nude now, so, you know, I can go and do that. After I bought this, I thought to myself, right, no more pink lipstick, because I don't wear pinks. And I went and bought these at the end of last year as well. Although this was more, I think more in September. So I have the Sephora Lip Stories in Street Style and Sephora Lip Stories in Buzz Me. So I do like these ones. So this is Buzz Me here, and that is more of a, you know, pastel-y pink, which I do like. And this one is more of a, you know, deeper kind of pink. It's really weird the way that it's showing up. It looks like it would be the same as this one, but the Flower Beauty is more of a, I don't know, it's got kind of a little bit more like oranginess in it, even though it's not orange. Like, you look at it and you're like, whoa, that's pink. But you look at this one and you're just like, yeah, that's darker. That's more Barbie crayon kind of pink. But I don't know why. I rarely wear them. But maybe it's because, you know, the majority of what I have is nudie colours, and I do have a few reds and a couple of browns in there as well. But I don't know. So I know I've got those 3 there. I will work my way through them. If I do ever want to buy a pink lipstick again, I'll think to myself, I already have 3 that I rarely wear, so no, not for now. So so that was basically just the colours that I know I don't wear. And the next point that I did have was formulas that I don't wear. So I've mentioned this briefly before, that the matte formulas are really just not 100% my style. I can make them work if I put something over the top, but I don't have time. You know, if I'm at work, I just want to stick something on, make it like a neutrally kind of colour so that, you know, as it wears off, it's not as noticeable as whereas, you know, if I were to rub half of this off, it would be very noticeable. So I'll definitely be trying to steer away from formulas that I know don't work. Wow, I have been rambling for a very long time. I didn't realise this was going to go so long. So I have 2 more things left on my list. Oh, actually, yeah, another one is to do with formulas, is basically lip liner, because I know that I'm not going to wear lip liners anymore, yet I continually keep buying them. So I have 4 at the moment, which I threw out a couple last year, I think, but even then I've been shying away from them the past few years. You know, mainly just because what's the point of wearing a lip liner if I have to reapply it through the day? I may as well just stick with lipstick, doesn't matter. Next one is I'm not buying any more makeup advent calendars. So I bought the Revolution calendar, not last year, the year before. I have 3 of the makeup items left out of that. Maybe 4, I can't remember. And a couple of the beauty tools. So they had, you know, a couple of little mini brushes in there, which, you know, they don't really count. I think there were 3 or 4 of those. But mainly because the stuff in them just doesn't work for everyone. So there were 6 lipsticks in there. I have 1 of those left. I got rid of quite a few of them, you know, a couple months after having them, and then the rest of them were gone at the end of last year. There were, I think, 3 or 4 highlighters. 1 I gave to Mum. The rest I think I just got rid of. There were a couple of bronzers. I have 1 of those left. That's it. I do have the palette still, but out of that palette of 15 eyeshadows, there's maybe 4 that I like. And they're 4 that I can actually use as bronze. So one item that I have is the liquid highlighter, and I have a feeling that this will very, very soon be making its way into the bin because it's just terrible. It's got blue glitter in it. Like, I don't want to wear blue glitter on my face. I tried popping it on like my eyelids one day on top of a look that I'd done, and it balled up everything that was underneath it, and when I blinked it just like creased. Now I had on an eye primer and eyeshadow that I know does not crease at all, but the second I put this on it, it just creased, and it took it was like just a massive line right in my eyelid, like where that little crease line is. Like, you can see the eyeshadow is all still there at the moment, but that's just my natural crease there. There was nothing, and there was just a giant line of eyeshadow in there. I'm not going to use it again. Actually, I'm just going to throw it out right now. I know I'm not going to use it again. I don't want to give it to anyone else because I don't know anyone else who would want to wear that. Even as a highlighter, it would move my foundation and everything else underneath it as well, and then just leave blue glitter everywhere. So no more advent calendars for me, because majority of the time there is probably 1 or 2 items out of there that I will keep. I have kept... Crap, where did it go? I had a little mirror. I must have been using it for something. Ah, here it is. I have kept the little mirror out of it because this is a really good size little mirror for when I do my mascara, when I want to get up real close. The eyeshadow palette will probably be fairly gone fairly soon. I have a couple of ideas about something I want to do with that, and the one remaining lipstick that I do have is in my project pan for this year. So that's pretty much it. The final item that I did have on my list was basically just things because they're on sale, or, you know, the option where you can buy things and then get a mystery bag. And the only reason I've added this in here is because, you know, yes, if in my last one of my videos regarding the 20 in 2020 hair pan, I mentioned that the items that I had bought from Priceline I did need anyway, and then I got the free mystery bag from there. If that's the case, yes, I'm fine. I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to buy things that I know I would have bought anyway. If it's going to be a case of, you know, buying extra items just so that I can get, you know, a discount or a mystery bag, like if it's something that I don't need, that I know I won't use, like, you know, go to Priceline, pick up, you know, a foundation, a concealer, and, you know, that's it. Whereas if it's a, you know, oh, you need to spend $30, I'm like, okay, I've got $5 left to spend. I have enough foundation after I get this one. I have enough concealer. I don't need any more mascaras. I'll just grab something new, give something else a try. You know, if I've never seen it before, if I've never tried it before, if I don't like that kind of product, chances are I probably won't like it, you know, to use it. And it would just be a waste of the money there. So there's no point in me spending that money on something that I know I'm not going to use, I know I'm not going to like, and that I know I wouldn't, you know, buy if it wasn't on sale, or if I didn't, you know, have to spend that much money to get something free. Then it's not worth it. Whereas, you know, if I've got a foundation and a concealer in the basket and I know I'm going to need a mascara in a couple of weeks, yeah, I'll grab it. You know, I'll grab it just to bump it up that bit. But that's because I know that it's something that I need. I know that it's something that I like. So yeah, that is my list of items that I know I won't buy again and I know I won't use. So if there's anything on this list that you guys feel the same about, feel free to comment below. If there's anything that you would prefer not to buy, or you know that you won't use again, comment below. I would love to know what you think and what your items are, what your reasoning behind them is. But until then, I'll talk to you next time. Bye.